So the ingredients, let me go through it so you kind of understand from a science perspective.
Please.
Vitamin B6 and magnesium. So what you want to do is when you take a melatonin pill by itself, you're really going from wake to sleep. And it's a very unnatural way to go to sleep. So we wanted to replicate the natural way your body falls asleep. And how is that? It's starting with relaxation. So we have B6 and magnesium that's, basically relaxing your body. And the next phase, it's phase 2 of our stack, is L-theanine and GABA. And GABA is a neurotransmitter. And basically it's turning your brain from wake to sleep. And melatonin is actually the last step that's going to help you stay asleep. So it's a progression that your body is naturally doing on its own. So everything in our drink, with the exception of L-theanine, L-theanine is found in a lot of foods, green tea, your body produces everything, all of those ingredients. All we're really doing is getting your body back to baseline, maybe even higher, and letting your body fall asleep the way it's supposed to. Hi, I'm Brad Marks, and this is my golden hour.
Boston 2020, an era of chaos. But one podcast perseveres to unite the city. Ha ha ha! Yes, sir, baby boy. It's Big Boachie, and you're now tuned into the number one podcast in Boston. Season 6 is booming.
You're good. Well, bathroom break?
No, dude. Had to get the product, man. Hey, before we move on the phone, I have our kick-ass producers. I have Lexi, Sarah Slugs, Riley, and Brennan. Guys, say what's up to Brad Marks for SOM Sleep.
Hello, how are you? Hey,
What's going on?
So this is the real squadron that does all the research to make sure that I don't sound stupid when we run episodes. Hey, so real quick, one, I appreciate you sending me the product.
Of course.
I'm glad we met. And I have been in love with the product. And I'm not even a huge hype man usually when it comes to products like this. But dude, I've been sleeping incredible.
It's funny. I had the same experience. And I'll kind of give you how I got involved with SOM and kind of in a similar way. So an old business partner of mine, I was working, running, marketing at a sports nutrition company. And what happened was a buddy of mine, old business partner, sent me these glass jars. Actually, we didn't even have labels on them yet. And he sent me 3 of them. And I mean, you could see, look, they weren't even, I can't even open it anymore, but no seal on it. He sent me 3 of them.
Brad's showing like a glass bottle that kind of looks like the glass bottle and holes that they like put all the peaches in underneath the boat, if anyone knows what I'm talking about.
Exactly. So sent me 3 of them, and one was leaking. I mean, it was bad. And I looked at it and I go, wow, what is this? Am I going to die? Like you said, 3 of the most incredible nights of sleep I've ever had. So, I was sold since day one, and here we are, 3.5 years later. And things are going well. We're really solving a problem, which is great. And there wasn't really a drug-free sleep solution for everybody. If you think about it, there's thousands of energy drinks and things to get us up, coffee, cold brew, you name it. I drink mine as well.
We don't call this coffee. We call this space juice because we put a couple espresso shots in that. It's game over.
Well, so what is that? Is that just an espresso or?
So I actually have not had Starbucks in some time because of the COVID, obviously. Sure. And today I was in a Star Market, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with. You definitely got to get the SOM in the Star Markets out here.
Yeah.
And Starbucks franchises a bunch of locations within the Star Market. So I'll get the straight grande ice black coffee with 2 espresso shots. The space juice.
That'll power you for about 3 days, or at least it would power me for about 3 days. So.
Well, dude, know what I was thinking? I was thinking of just spiking it with my SOM and seeing how loopy I feel.
Do not want to do that. And it's funny, so to back up, this drink it's simple. It's 8 ounces. It's the opposite of an energy drink. And you drink it 30 minutes before you go to bed, and it works wonders. So very different than taking a pill or a powder. So it's super simple and easy, and all of our ingredients, like I said, are drug free. So
sorry to stop you in your tracks there. Before we move on, can you just give a quick synopsis of who you are and what you do?
Sure. Yeah. So my name is Brad Marks, and I'm the CMO of SOM Sleep. And we are a sleep drink company. And we've been around only 3.5 years. And we're just a little startup that's finding our way in the marketplace. And in Boston, we're in the Big Y. So Big Y markets, you can find us in there. And then we're in about half of the Walmarts throughout the country, and then other grocery, and then as well as getsom.com, and you can buy it on there and on Amazon Prime, free shipping, all that stuff. So that's what I do. I run the marketing, also do kind of the B2B sales as well, team sales, if you will. And it wasn't a really category we thought about when we launched, but when we were seeding product, early on before we launched in January of 2018, I seeded it out to, a lot of my relationships, whether they be, strength coaches and performance specialists for different, major league, professional sports leagues, different athletes, athletic trainers, dietitians, you name it. And the funny thing happened was, like they tried it and they said, we need this for our team. So we paused and said, whoops, oh, okay, I guess this can be a product that can live, direct from a business to business perspective. So we actually sell our product to 70 professional sports teams right now across the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, MLS. So it's pretty cool to to see the drinks in these locker rooms, which is pretty cool.
Now, when the current founder of SOM Sleep had sent you those initial 3 jars, you were at the time a bigwig at Muscle Farm?
I wouldn't call myself a bigwig, but yeah, I was working at Muscle Farm, which is a sports nutrition company. And
for those listening, it's like Muscle Farm, they make like dope pre-workouts and whey protein isolates, etc. We just ran an episode with a big, as I was saying to you on the phone, a supplement store out here. So some of our listeners are probably familiar. Got it.
Yeah. And Muscle Farm's been around for a while, and they make great products as well. So I was doing that. It was the sports marketing position, and cut to when I came on, we hadn't launched yet. The big thing for us was making sure our product right out of the gate was NSF certified for sport. And I don't know if a lot of the listeners know exactly what that is, but essentially NSF for sport is it's a governing body basically that tests your product for all banned substances. So you cannot even have any supplement whatsoever in a locker room in Major League Baseball unless it has the NSF logo on it. I don't know if we have it over here.
Now would like the Muscle Farm, what's their pre-workout called? Combat?
Yeah, it's the Combat was the protein.
Is that NSF certified? Like, would that be okay?
Assault was their pre-workout. They had it at one point. They had NSF, and then now they have a company called Informed Choice. So a little different, right? That's more of an international standard of testing. But yeah, unfortunately, Muscle Farm would not be permissible in the leagues right now. Not to say that there's banned substances in it. It just hasn't been tested through the NSF process. And that process is interesting. So when we make our drinks, we actually have to send out a batch to NSF. They test our products, and usually we don't get them. We cannot release that lot of drinks for about 6 weeks. So as soon as we get the green light, it's a go. And what's nice is, you see a lot of these athletes, either get popped for, taking some are obviously cheating, right? But, others, it's as innocent as walking into a GNC and buying something that you think is fine and it's not. So what NSF did,
trying to read the crazy labels on a lot of these supplements.
It's hard. It's a very difficult thing. You wouldn't know. I mean, you could look at a supplement and it could just say magnesium on it and go, okay, if magnesium's fine. Well, no, it's not, because you don't know, did that magnesium run through a machine that was tainted from an earlier supplement or had something in it that the machines weren't clean. Well, it happens a lot. So to make sure like that doesn't happen, these athletes now have an app they can go to and literally scan our barcode or any barcode of an NSF certified product. And if it comes back green, then they're in the clear and they know they could take it. It is so foolproof now that if someone says, I just went to the GNC and bought it, it's not an excuse anymore. It's just not. These guys are so well informed on these, on what NSF for sport really means. And all these teams, most of the teams now have full-time dietitians as well that are constantly educating the athletes. So no excuse anymore for saying, I just bought it off Amazon. I thought it was cool. I read the label. No, scan the label. And if it comes back clean, then, you could take it.
Can you buy steroids on Amazon right now?
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I have no idea.
Maybe you might have to check that out.
But it's not necessarily steroids. That's the interesting thing. Before I got in this industry, you hear a guy like say that, I took protein and here I am. Guess what? It happens a lot. These machines, you gotta understand these co-packing facilities that they make all sorts of things in these machines, especially drinks. So, you got to be careful to make sure, like, the facilities that manufacture the goods, sometimes it's not cleaned perfectly. So, that's why they have this testing. I think it's a good thing. And having that NSF body is great. And it really is great for us to know that we have no banned substances, obviously, in our drink. And our drink it's drug-free with the ingredients that we have in the product.
Well, I want to get into the product a little bit later, but just peeling it back a little bit. So you had started as a big-time Hollywood agent.
I've never been big-time anything, number one.
Well, but, dude, your set is big-time symmetrical. I'll tell you that much about the Zoom setup.
So, type A personality. So yeah, I grew up in LA, born and raised in LA.
Whereabouts?
What's that?
Whereabouts?
So I was born in West Hills, which is for all you East Coasters. I guess the best way now everyone knows Calabasas. That's on the map, right? Calabasas. It's about 3 or 4 miles from Calabasas. So it's in the West San Fernando Valley of LA. So big place. But
one of our producers lives in Santa Clarita.
Yeah, not too far away. I'd say 15, 20 minutes. So without traffic, by the way. With traffic, 3 hours. So that's LA. But yeah, so grew up in LA, went to college at UC San Diego, and got a job actually at the William Morris Agency my last quarter of school. So probably the dumbest thing I've ever done, but I graduated and started working 10 days later. So
now, why do you say that?
What's that?
Why do you say that was the dumbest thing you've ever done?
Work's always, it's going to be there, So that time I wish I would have taken, maybe 6 months off, traveled, done things. Now I have a family, married family. That those are times, I'll never be able to experience that. Obviously with everything going on, you can't right now. But to backpack through Europe would have been an unbelievable experience, and just opened up my brain from a perspective of seeing how the other world works, because I never really traveled besides Mexico and Canada until I was in my 20s. So I never really left the country, and when you do it, it really opens your mind up, and you see how other cultures and other countries and other people live their life, and it's really eye opening, and it helps whatever profession you're in. It really adds perspective.
I was going to say, I've heard a quote a couple times that the best marketers are the most well-traveled marketers.
I haven't heard that quote. It's a great one though. I mean, yeah, marketing's interesting. It's funny when in college, all of my books on media, and I graduated in 2000. They're the most obsolete things to this day. I mean,
don't even get me started.
Well, I mean, if you could imagine, we didn't have social media when I graduated college. It didn't exist. So this whole world, it changes every day, and you really have to keep up with the times. I would call myself a very untraditional marketer, and I joke around. One of my good friends, she runs marketing at C4. And I always joke with her because she's super polished. She's worked with so many great brands, and she's excellent. She does a great job. But I do things a little outside the box, I guess. And it comes from perspective, right? It comes from me, going online, traveling, seeing how people consume media. When COVID hit, this was obviously a bad time, right, for a lot of different things. But in my mind, it was, okay, what opportunities do we have now that we didn't a month ago? So instead of feeling sorry for yourself and going, wow, we can't do X, Y, and Z that we used to do. You have to pivot quickly and go, okay, well, now that we can't do X, Y, Z, we could do A, B, C that we weren't able to do before. So, it's fast paced. It's I guess it's high energy. The hardest part with marketing, I would say, is it's very hard to quantify your what you do, right? So, there's certain aspects of marketing where we could track and see this thing that we did led to this. But a lot of times, it's building brand, it's building awareness. Those are things that are very hard to measure.
I was going to say, you can't really equate an ROI on proper branding, because it's also such a long-term thing. Like your marketing efforts right now, you'll probably reap the fruits of all your labor in 5 years because of it.
I mean, it's crazy. It just depends, right? I mean, how many touch points is it going to take for someone to go, wow, I have to try SOM, right? I mean, sometimes it's one. Sometimes it's, hey, I have trouble falling asleep. I have trouble staying asleep. This is something I have to have.
I want to get a little high.
Personally, it's kind of funny. So I wouldn't call myself having sleep issues, and I drink SOM every night, and I drink it from a perspective of I have 3 kids, and I put them to bed at the same time every night. They go to bed at 8:30. I drink my SOM at 9, and I'm sleeping at 9:30, which I would never ever ever be able to do if I didn't drink the SOM. So it allows me to go to sleep at 9:30 and wake up when my kids wake up, usually around 6 o'clock. So if I didn't, I'd go to bed 11:30, 12, and still be waking up at 5:30, 6 o'clock. And man, those 2 extra hours are crucial to performance.
I was going to say, and you kind of seem like the type of guy who's got that chaos brain. So that thing's always moving.
Always.
R-
And, as a little brand right now, what we've done is, especially with COVID, we've really helped out immediately and helped out. We donated thousands and thousands of cans to the frontline workers, a lot of nurses, a lot of hospitals, and it's kind of ironic because we kind of we've been marketing a little bit to different subsets of people, and nurses were actually a subset that we went after last September and October, and just really targeted them due to their schedules, right? Working nights and days, getting their days and nights flipped. So we thought this would be a good product, and ironically, it ended up working out nicely where we had a lot of relationships with these nurses. When COVID hit.
Reeling it way back.
Go for it.
So you were a Hollywood agent at WME.
I wasn't an agent. So I was in the agent trainee program. So out of college, you work on desks, you're an assistant. The first desk I worked on was the head of the motion picture department at William Morris. His name is Robert Stein. And this is back in 2000, 2001. So he represented Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ray Romano, Frank Darabont, who directed The Shawshank Redemption. So actors, writers, directors, really good list of people. So basically my job was I'd sit on the phone and, make calls for him, or he'd tell me get so-and-so. And the funniest one was, it was my first day on the desk, and call comes in, and you're nervous, of course, because you don't know what the hell you're doing, right? It's my first day on the job. And a guy calls in, he goes, "Put him on the phone." And I go, who's this? He goes, "I need to talk to him now." And I go, "Who is this?" He goes, "It's me, it's Arnold." It was Schwarzenegger that called in. So, as a kid right out of college, it's cool, right? You're like talking to these people that you watch on TV that are larger than life figures. And then about 2 weeks later, it goes away and they're people, So, I've never been really enamored by athletes, celebrities. It goes away quick. When you're around it a lot, it just becomes, they're human beings, and you see a lot of the human side to them as well. So
I feel the same way about the show, like the podcast, because we've landed some stereotypically in Boston, people would call them big guests, but like you're starting to learn, like, dude, I'm on a Zoom call with just another dude or another human. It's pretty crazy.
You know what? It's true. Listen, I have respect for their craft and what they do, but it's putting them on a pedestal is something, once you start doing it, like you said, you realize they eat, breathe, and sleep just like you do. So they're human beings, right? So it is what it is.
And the job you had at WME, mind you, I've talked to agencies like every week, right?
Okay.
Try to line a podcast.
Sure.
I feel so bad for the assistants of these agents. They get the worst calls and the worst work.
Yeah. It's interesting. You as the assistant, I have to weed out all these calls that come in, and you get crazy people that call in and ask to speak to, like, hey, can I speak to Schwarzenegger? It's like, what? Who are you? He's not in the office. So it's a balance of weeding out who you don't need to talk to, is not conducive to your business. But you get to approach so many opportunities, and I can't imagine what it would be like now with YouTube wasn't around when I was at the agency. So, it must be just wild now as far as the requests that come in and whatnot. But the bottom line is, you have to vet out and figure out what's the best stuff for your clients. And that's the name of the game.
Now, you go to another agency when you shift out of WME?
So I went over to a management company, which is very similar to an agency.
It's all the same stuff. They just represent people.
Correct. The difference of a manager and an agent, I guess, a manager is allowed to produce TV and film. So I went and I worked for a great boss. His name was Geyer Kaczynski, and Geyer's still managing today, and he has phenomenal clients. I mean, he signed Angelina Jolie when she was, I want to say 17 years old. So he's represented her whole life. Billy Bob Thornton. He's worked with a lot. Nicole Kidman is his client now. So he has a lot of big clients. And yeah, so when I was working with him, and then I got promoted. That was my promotion on his desk. So after I worked for him, I got promoted to a manager, and then started signing clients. I was on teams, so I worked on the Angelina team, the Billy Bob team, but I also started signing my own clients. And I guess the big one was Chuck Liddell. So I signed Chuck Liddell.
Damn, that's early UFC days too.
This was in 2004, and it was kind of a fluke, to be honest with you. So I had known what the UFC was, but I never watched. I never watched any of the maybe the early ones, or just caught a glimpse of it. But
it was totally barbaric back then too. It was way different.
It really was, and so this is how things work, right? One introduction leads to something, which leads to something. So I was working with a client. Her name was Willa Ford. She's a pop singer. And I got her a gig. She was the host of the first season of the Ultimate Fighter reality show. No, I don't even think people remember this. First season, it was Chuck versus Randy Couture. They were both the coaches. And this was this brand new reality show. And that's the catalyst really that kind of blew up the UFC. It became really, really popular after that. And the fight for Ultimate Fighter 1 was Stefan Bonner versus Forrest Griffin. It was an amazing fight that went back and forth. And then the coaches end up fighting. It was UFC 52. So Willa goes on the show, shoots the whole thing. And then I think it was like a week into the show, she was already dating Chuck. So that's the first time I met Chuck. And it's a funny story. And Chuck came to my office. And it was right off of 9200 Sunset in West Hollywood, great building. And Chuck comes in, and I'd never heard of him. I'd never heard of Chuck before. We went and grabbed lunch, and we're walking down the street, and everyone is just, Iceman, this and that. And I turned to him, I go, how do people know who you are? Like, I was like such a dick, right? But Chuck is just such a superhuman being, and would just, he'd laugh it off. He just thought it was so funny. We got along so well. I ended up managing Chuck for 10 years. So it was a great run. He did a lot of firsts, put him on Entourage, put him on Dance.
I remember that scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How'd you get that done?
So good buddy of mine, Rob Weiss, he was an executive producer and one of the main writers on Entourage. Doug Ellen was the creator of the show, and Doug and Rob had grown up. And Rob is, the most amazing human. He is Entourage. The way he talks, the way he lives his life. I mean, the dude is the coolest dude I've ever met in my life. And Rob, he was a boxer. You'd always, go to Wild Card Gym and box in LA, and was into MMA and the UFC. But this was so early on. No one really, unless you were a hardcore fan, you didn't know UFC. So I harassed Rob for a year. And finally, out of the blue, Rob called me. He said, yo, Brad, and he has that whole New York, drama accent, and said, Brad, I wrote it. And he sent me the script, and he had wrote the whole episode on his BlackBerry. I don't even think there was iPhones yet, or maybe there was like the first gen, but everyone still had the BlackBerry. And he wrote the whole episode at the Standard Hotel pool, sent it to me, and I'm like, this is unbelievable. And that was it. So, a few months later, we're shooting Entourage, and it was It was an amazing experience. But yeah, so this is a funny story. So Chuck, I end up working with Chuck, and the first fight I ever go to is UFC 52, and it's the main event. Chuck versus Randy Couture. Chuck had lost to Randy for the title, I think a year or two earlier. So Chuck had never been champion. Title fight, light heavyweight championship, and Chuck ends up knocking out Randy Couture, winning the title. And we're walking out of the arena. This is my first fight ever.
Where was the fight?
It was either at MGM or Mandalay Bay. It was in Vegas, but it was one of the two. It would flip flop back and forth. I honestly don't remember. It was just, it was at one of the hotels. But we walked out, and Chuck goes, just, hey, hold on to my belt for me. So I had the belt on my shoulder walking out. And it was just, now looking back, at the time I was just like, whatever, what is it? Now it's like, wow, like that is so crazy. So
and that was, those fights, and when he was at his peak, was such a pinnacle point in the UFC's growth. That must have been. Did you even know what you were a part of at the time?
You could tell, when something's bubbling up, there's like, this is going to be big, and it was just growing and growing and growing. And, I knew just from the opportunities that we were creating, like when I first started, we'd call traditional brands, beer companies or whatnot, and they wouldn't even want to take your call. You couldn't get anything done. And it started shifting, and then the UFC did such a great job. They are the best marketing company maybe in the country.
Unbelievable. Even Ultimate Fighter is such an unconventional way that they were like, listen, we're going to create a reality show to market a sports league. That's insane.
And they made stars out of their fighters, and they just do a great job. And, I reap the benefits of really them, creating these stars and putting money behind Chuck and marketing Chuck. So,
well, the NBA, sorry to cut you off, but the NBA now, I feel like they have really taken a look at how the UFC is marketing, and they're trying to do the same thing with kind of creating a reality show within the league. Like they have all these characters and these players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the NBA does a great job too. It's a players first league, and they know it's about star power, right? If LeBron and Giannis and all these guys, Tatum, all these stars, if they were out, if they didn't want to play and go to the bubble, there is no games. It's a star powered league. And the UFC knows that as well. It's a star. Conor McGregor is a star, and they know that. They're not dumb. That's how you sell fights, and that's how you sell your brand. The NFL, I feel like they don't do that. I feel like
it's more team against team in the NFL.
It's a team rather than is individual. But and then I don't even know baseball. I guess it's kind of a mixture of both in a way, because they do market some players, but on a whole, it's a team sport.
We had the CMO of the Sox on our show, and he was saying that it's like a weird bind between when they get these new acquisitions with these big players, and then also marketing like the historical brand of the Red Sox. It's like hard to navigate between being like a cutting edge new team and then also like the storied franchise.
No doubt. Definitely. And it's tough too. With all the players changing, and, the Red Sox have changed so much this year, and, it'd be a really tough job at the CMO where you're using these players to sell your product. And then, next year or even in the middle of the season, that whole strategy shifts if the guy gets traded or injured or something. So it must be really challenging to have that position. Now,
you used to rep Beckett back in the day, right?
I never rep Beckett. So going back to Chuck. So, during the heyday, when I was working with Chuck, being an individual sport, these fights in Vegas were so much fun. and it was a big party. And as you know, like, Tom Brady's going to these fights, all these celebrities and athletes, and everyone's going to these fights. And they all want to get close to, the champ, right? So I got to meet a lot of people because of that. And one guy who's become a really good friend of mine is Brad Penny, who's a huge MMA fan. And Brad, we became really, really good friends. And he was playing for the Dodgers at the time, and then he played for the Red Sox for a half season. So when he played for the Red Sox, it's when I met Josh, and Josh and I became good buddies. I caddied for him a couple times at that Lake Tahoe golf tournament. So, but I never represented Josh. Just we're just good friends.
You're boys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now that you're getting back into the world of SOM Sleep, so like you leave the agency world, you go to Muscle Farm. I'm assuming your job was a little more like a desk job. Is this you kind of returning to the chaos, like the commotion?
Well, it's different. It's Muscle Farm. We had an amazing facility in Denver, and it was wild. It was this man. I wish I could show you some of this footage, but we had a basketball court.
What was going on, man?
It's a warehouse. Imagine this in a warehouse from the outside. So it just looks like a normal warehouse. And you open it up and there's some offices. And you go through a door and it's just open warehouse of just a full like gym, basketball court, a cage, a UFC cage. It had turf, weight room, golf simulator. It had everything. We had a sports science institute in there. So it was pretty, neat from a marketing perspective to be able to utilize that facility, from a market perspective, just show, this is a performance center and whatnot. With SOM, it's a little different. We're actually not a sports nutrition company at all.
You're a startup.
Well, we're a startup company, but this product's for everyone. You don't have to be an athlete. This is for an 18-year-old. It's for an 85-year-old, and everything in between. Sleep affects everybody. The numbers are absolutely staggering as far as how many people have trouble sleeping, or throughout the week, 1 night, 3 nights, 7 nights. It's unbelievable. So this product's for everybody. Not just athletes. But I always use this term, and you could steal it from me. I'll let you, Connors. It's I use the term executive athlete, and executive athlete means the following. Here I am not a professional athlete. I'm not even close, but I have to treat my body like I am a professional athlete. Why? Because I can't do my job efficiently and effectively from a physical and a cognitive standpoint if I do not have the proper sleep. You know what it's like to not sleep at night. Can you do your podcast? Absolutely not. You're struggling.
I could not agree more. And there's this common misconception in the entrepreneurship space that like, nope, you shouldn't sleep. It's terrible. You got to work every hour of every day. No, I learned about 1.5 years in, like it's about the efficacy of your decisions and how good your decisions are. Sleep is wildly important, and I still sleep terribly. But I just want to give a quick rundown of my experience with the SOM. So in college, I used to pop melatonin all the time. I'd even drink a little NyQuil, get a little loose. You know what I'm saying? A little woozy, have some strange dreams.
You're not the only one.
Oh, I know. I started learning a lot about our producing team through this whole thing. They're saying they all take stuff. Okay, cool. But I still wake up frequently in the night. The first time I tried SOM, you were right. I drank it at around 9 p.m. About 20 minutes later, I'm starting to feel like, I could really just lay down right now and just take it easy. I fought it for about 10 more minutes, then lay down, out. Woke up just once in the night. And then when I woke up again, I was like, am I going to feel a little groggy? I'll be honest, I did I was like, I don't want to pull myself out of bed. But as soon as I did get out of bed, I didn't feel groggy whatsoever.
Sure.
Also, taste. Hey, I'm just giving you free marketing. Okay.
I love it. Keep going.
Listen, taste. I did the sugar-free joints. I've been tempted running this interview with you the whole time. Like, this tastes so good. I would love to drink it. Taste was great. I felt no effects. I was worried because I've been working on my cardio a little bit, and I had a 6-mile PR run I had to hit the next day. And so I was like, I really hope I'm not groggy. Didn't feel any of the effects the next day. Awesome. Real quick, though, I am an avid intermittent faster, and this has 10 calories. Is there any way we can create a SOM formula at 0 calorie?
Well, there's 0 sugar. There's 10 calories should not affect.
It does, though. It does.
You think it does, the 10 calories?
That's coming from the pythons, baby. I know what I'm doing.
Well, it's interesting. It's hard to create a product. You try to create a product and that fits the masses, right? That works. It's never going to be perfect. Rob Bent, who created our drink, he did a great job. And what he did was he spent a long time trying to figure out what ingredients to use, what ingredients not to use, the amount. And then we had to obviously make it taste good, right? Because if it doesn't taste good, you can only tolerate it for so long. And I'm with you. I crave it sometimes. I want a hydration version, but that's not in the works. That's not in our plans. We are a sleep drink company. So the ingredients, let me go through it so you kind of understand from a science perspective.
Please.
Vitamin B6 and magnesium. So what you want to do is when you take a melatonin pill by itself, you're really going from wake to sleep. And it's a very unnatural way to go to sleep. So we wanted to replicate the natural way your body falls asleep. And how is that? It's starting with relaxation. So we have B6 and magnesium that's, basically relaxing your body. And the next phase, it's phase 2 of our stack, is L-theanine and GABA. And GABA is a neurotransmitter. And basically it's turning your brain from wake to sleep. And melatonin is actually the last step that's going to help you stay asleep. So it's a progression that your body is naturally doing on its own. So everything in our drink, with the exception of L-theanine is found in a lot of foods, green tea, your body produces everything, all of those ingredients. All we're really doing is getting your body back to baseline, maybe even higher, and letting your body fall asleep the way it's supposed to. So when you take a Z-Quil or all these other things, it's drug. So it's an unnatural way. And, the groggy feeling that you get is because you're putting stuff in your body that's foreign almost. So
now your base melatonin pill is traditionally 5 milligrams. This SOM Sleep has just 3 milligrams of melatonin.
That is correct. Yeah. So the 2 top SKUs of melatonin pills in retail or online, whatever, are 5 and 10 milligrams. So it's a lot. You don't need that much. So
now, do you worry about voice crack? Whoa, 24. That shouldn't be happening. Do you worry about any of your consumers developing reliance on this? Because I'd be pumped to drink it again tonight.
So it is drug-free and non-habit forming. None of our ingredients are addictive. Now, I will say this.
You're a type A psycho. You know how your brain works. If it works, you're like, okay, I'd love to drink some more.
Correct. But what I'm saying, it's non-addictive. It's not like cigarettes are addictive. These are not addictive at all. What you'll end up doing, like you said, is I know if I drink this drink, I'm going to go to bed in 30 minutes. So why wouldn't I drink it? Or I could not drink it and maybe go to sleep an hour and a half later than I normally would. So that's your choice. So I've been drinking these now almost every day for 3.5 years. And I will go sometimes just to see, I can go 2 weeks without. My quality of sleep is not as good, but I'm not craving or addicting or craving it or addicted to it whatsoever. So, you could drink these, 1 to 7 nights a week, and you'll be just fine.
Now, similar to developing reliance, can you develop a tolerance?
I've stuck with the same amount every single night. One can. That's it.
You never tried messing around with 2?
I've had 2 before, and
what was that like?
It's hard to say. What happened was, I think I drank 1, and I ended up having to do something, or I had to work, which was hard, right? So I was on my computer, and I'm like, yeah. And then it was because that's another thing. When you drink this, you got to put yourself in a position to go to sleep as well. So, don't drink this and, go on a 6-mile run, right? I mean, that's not going to be a smart decision for you. So you got to put yourself in a position. You want to lay in bed. Sleep hygiene is still super important. You need to get your temperature right in your room, get your sheets right. You need to, turn off all the lights for, because you don't want the blue lights affecting, your melatonin production.
Did you call it sleep hygiene?
Sleep hygiene.
I've never heard that before. So what is that like?
So sleep hygiene is just is your it's basically your rundown. Actually, here, look, I have this on my desk. This is interesting. So this is proprietary information. So this is the Cubs, one of our clients, and they created this for their players. And this is a recovery sleep checklist. And this is sleep hygiene. And it says, shut off electronics before bed.
An hour.
Your phone, computer, TV emit blue light that disrupts sleep. Stop using them 1 hour before bed, or use blue light blocking glasses. 2, wear an eye mask and earplugs, just, to drown out sound. And this is for road trips for these guys as well. So,
it's a little dramatic. That's a little dramatic.
A little bit. I mean, they have listen to sleep meditation music. When it comes to sleep hygiene, there's a million different things you can do. You should not have your phone in bed. Do I? I absolutely do. I mean, we're all humans, right? We're gonna do things, because that's just how we are. So there's things that you should not do that are going to affect the way you sleep. And you can try to follow as many as you can, and it'll really help you. So
now, I did experience some lucid dreams on the old SOM.
Yeah.
Some people get scared of them. I enjoy them. I think they're fun.
Well, lucid's the key word, because when you wake up after the next morning after a SOM, it's you remember your dreams. So when you say lucid, it's not. Sometimes some people have weird dreams. Sometimes I have weird dreams. I have good dreams. I mean, it's just.
What'd you dream last night?
Man,
make sure it's safe for work.
I knew in the morning, but now it's been a few hours. Jeez.
It was probably something vulgar, Brad.
You know what it was? I'll tell you. You're gonna laugh. So, and I know why I dreamed it too. So, I was at Joe Rogan's house, and he was cooking. He was on his Traeger grill making some elk for me. That's what he was doing. And it's probably because I saw it. The last thing I saw was one of his posts or something.
I know he just nails that Instagram with that Traeger grill and that elk. Hashtag I eat elk. It looks bomb, doesn't it? Doesn't it look good?
Elk with the jalapenos. It looks absolutely incredible. The medium rare, it's more rare than medium rare. The rare elk, which isn't, I don't like it that rare, but the way he does it looks absolutely perfect.
Oh, so you've eaten elk before?
I have, yeah. So there's a place in LA. It's called Saddle Peak Lodge. So it's halfway between Calabasas and Malibu. It's like you wouldn't even know it's like in LA. It's like in the middle of nowhere, kind of. And they serve elk and all sorts of game. But it's a nice restaurant. So yeah, had a bunch. It is really, really good. Now,
When I come back out to LA within this year, you're taking me there.
you got it. But I live in Denver now, so it's going to be hard. But I'll make sure I'm out there when you're out there.
But you shoot back and forth a bunch, right?
I do, yeah. I mean, our office is there, and then I have a bunch of family and stuff. So yeah, before COVID, I would go back, probably like every 6 weeks or so. But yeah, you're in. I got you.
You're the goat, man. Now, when it comes to, this is just a generalized question, what do you think dreams are? Like, what is going on in the human's brain when they're dreaming?
Honestly, I am the least qualified person to ever discuss dreams or analyze dreams. I have no idea. I have no idea about dreams. But that's a good one, though. We have dream experts that have reached out to us before. Maybe we need to make an intro for you, so you could that'd be a good guess for you.
I'm gonna do it for you again, just so we can catch you up a clip. You guys might want to use this. SOM, dreams in a can.
There you go.
So when you had started going real heavy on the CMO tip, spreading the brand, you're still doing it.
Yeah.
When did you decide that, athletes and professional sports teams would be a good market for us? Obviously, everybody wants their product in professional athletes' hands, but did you leverage some of your old connections in the agency world because of this?
Yeah, with any job, right? You want to leverage your relationships, or utilize, not even leverage, just utilize your relationships. So, when we launched SOM, we could have gone in a lot of different directions, but the number one thing that I wanted to accomplish was to build credibility. Not only were we a new brand, we're a new category. It's a little different, right? You're drinking something to go to sleep. Everyone will drink something to give them an upper, but the concept of drinking something to go to sleep is a little foreign. So in due time, it won't be. When Red Bull came in for the energy market, what did they do? They before that, it was coffee or an energy pill. Does anyone take energy pills anymore? I don't know anybody. Maybe a few. I don't know.
No, I know one psycho who does. He's a frequent guest on the show.
But it's not as prevalent as it once was, right? And now you consume your energy via a drink. We're trying to do the same thing with sleep. Right now, they're pills, right, that you take to go to sleep. But why? Because that was the norm. So we're trying to, do something a little different. Something that's very unmedicinal. You're drinking a drink. So when we launched the company, we wanted to build credibility. And, the best way to do that is with, athletes and influencers of that sort. So, what we did, we wanted feedback. We wanted real feedback from, a lot of my friends. So, Brandon McDaniel, who's one of the best in the world, he's the head performance specialist for the Dodgers. He's an unbelievable guy. Sent it to Brandon and honest feedback. Loved it. Had sleep issues. Helped. He still drinks them today. Jordan Mazer, dietitian for the 49ers, loves the product. So we sent it out to a lot of these, I guess, performance specialists, right? And we found really quickly there was a deficiency in their sport as far as having players using the product to from a performance standpoint. When I was younger, it was a badge of honor to go, man, I didn't go to sleep all night, pulled an all-nighter. Now you say that, you're an idiot. I mean, you are. Like, you really are. So sleep's come a long way. We now understand the importance of sleep. So we wanted to use professional athletes as a credibility piece. Listen, I could say things till I'm blue in the face, but I don't have the background or the degree of a Brandon McDaniel for the Dodgers, Jordan Mazer of the Niners, Keith D'Amelio from Nike. I mean, these are the guys that are,
this is a Boston show. This is a Boston show. So tie it into some of the athletes out here that consume it.
Yeah. So, Boston's been a great market for us. The Red Sox are a client. The Celtics are a client. And it's been a great relationship. So yeah, we sent product. It's in the bubble right now in Orlando for your Boston Celtics. Disclaimer, we also sent it to the Bucks. So, but
you're a traitor.
No.
I think a crazy market for you would be the entrepreneur space, because those are the people that lack sleep the most. And I feel like, oh my God, I can just drink this really quick and get like a solid 7-8 hours of sleep. Easy.
You know what? A lot of our customers are, and we've found it's those hard chargers, right? The guys that work hard, work out like yourself. You're working all day and you're also working out at night, and you're a type of guy, I could just tell your mind is always racing. You probably lay down and you're exhausted. I wear a Whoop. I'd love to see what your strain was per day, because you just seem like a guy that's a hard charger. So yeah, this is a great product for those entrepreneurial types, those executives, the ones that have a lot on their plate, that do a lot of stuff and have a tough time shutting it down.
Yeah, I noticed no mental fog after the next day after drinking the SOM Sleep too. Dude, you guys got to hire me as a brand ambassador. I'm just killing it for you.
Keep going. Tell me some more. No, honestly, it's like I tell people all the time. I probably oversell the drink. It's as simple as you try it and you'll figure it out pretty quickly. Like I said, I wear this Whoop, Boston-based company, by the way. You should have them on. They're a great company. And what's great about this is it measures my strain per day, but more importantly, it measures my sleep. So I know exactly the minute I went to sleep, the moment I woke up, how many disturbances I had, my quality of sleep, light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, and it gives me stats. And it'll blow your mind to see the difference of your stats, and you'll know how you feel. You know how you felt when you woke up, but to actually see the data on how your quality of sleep changes with a SOM or without a SOM, it's mind-blowing. It really is.
You're a master salesman, Brad. Listen, I got to ask you a couple more questions. I want to open up for the producers, okay? Here's a question for you. Actually, no, let's just kick it to the producers. Hey, Famo, let's hit Brendan. What do you want to ask Brad?
Hey, Brad. Well, I was just reading the sleep aid market is growing very rapidly, and it's going to surpass like 100 billion pretty soon. I was wondering, do you think a lot of that's going to be kind of grabbed by these sleep aids, like the sedatives, like the Lunesta and Ambien, or do you think you can kind of cannibalize some of that by marketing and differentiating your product?
Good question. Yeah, we're not. Our goal is not to go against those types of companies. The proof's in the pudding, right? I tell everyone, listen, I could tell you, till I'm blue in the face what this product's going to do for you, but try them both. Make up your mind. It's fair game. Take a melatonin pill one night, drink a SOM the next, and then make a decision on your own. People ask me this a lot. They go, who's your biggest competitor? And it's really interesting because normally, you can list off, at least 10 names, right? Our biggest competitor is ourself. It really is. I mean, we're marketing our product. We're not marketing against anybody else. We stand behind our product. It works well, and it's that simple.
We know what that's like in the Golden Deer camp, man, because we're pretty much a one of one in the city. That's the truth.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's tough sometimes. A lot of times I wish I had like an enemy, like a real present enemy. Does it elevate your game, you know?
You know, it can, but it also can be a distraction as well.
If you're soft.
You know, you gotta be positive, and you always gotta, do things that are increasing in productivity and moving things forward. As soon as you start getting into beef, you're losing.
Lexi, young Barbara Walters, hit him.
What's up, Lexi?
Hey, Brad. So I was looking on the SOM Sleep website, and I was looking at your advisory board, and two of your members are Emma and Layla, the Chief Motivation Officer and the Chief Sleeping Officer, and they are both dogs. Did you want to talk about their involvement at all in the product?
Well, it's a little goofy thing. They're Emma and Layla, both great dogs. When you're an early stage startup, you need all the help you can get, and they're great from a content perspective. Can't lie. I mean, Emma especially is such a cute little dog, and it's two of our founders' dogs, Abdul and Christine, and she's Emma's great. She's our team mascot, and she does a great job.
Riley, you ready, dude?
Yes, sir. Hey, Brad. So,
hey.
A quick question. Back when you were being a manager and an agent, what was your favorite sport to represent and why?
My favorite what? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
What was your favorite sport to represent?
Your favorite sport to represent?
Oh, favorite sport to represent. Well, I didn't really. I worked the most in, I guess, MMA as far as sports, because I also represented actors. You
represented Cutler too, right?
I worked with Jay Cutler for a little bit, not the football player, Mr. Olympia, who's an unbelievable human being.
The GOAT.
You know what? I really couldn't say what was better than the next. I just they're all very unique, and I don't even look at it as so much the sports more than the human beings themselves. And the interesting part was, growing up in LA, I was always a fan of the LA sports, and then it quickly fades. So, you kind of lose interest in teams, and you start rooting for your friends and their friends, I guess, if you will. So, yeah, it's call me a traitor, if you will, but it's you'd rather root for your friend than a team at the end of the day. So more of a personal connection.
Slugs, hit us with something good, man.
So Slugs had to go, but I'm going to ask her question for her.
Wait, is it a good question, Lexi?
It's a great question.
Okay.
So, Brad, Sarah wants to know, what are your thoughts on CBD drinks to help people sleep? Have you ever thought of developing one yourself?
Good, very good question. So CBD, which is now the hottest thing to talk about. So CBD, you got to be very careful with CBD, because it's not all created equal. There's different potency. Some CBD does absolutely nothing for you. Some CBD does a lot for you. So you got to find a reputable company, number one. The biggest misnomer, though, about CBD, and, I don't know where this came from, but everyone thinks it's a sleep aid. CBD is not a sleep aid at all. It is a relaxation supplement. It is. So, yes, is it the precursor to falling asleep? Of course. Is good CBD, a quality CBD, useful? Absolutely. But it is not intended to be a sleep aid.
So CBD would be the equivalent to the L-theanine and the GABA.
The B6 and the magnesium.
Okay,
you wouldn't really. That's wait. They're both relaxation agents. I wouldn't say like one replaces the other. It's different, but yes, it's The B6 and the magnesium are relaxation agents.
Can you explain what erythritol is?
Yeah, it's a sweetener. So and it's probably the most prevalent now with a lot of drinks. So erythritol is just it's a sweetening agent.
That's like the stevia is erythritol, right?
Yeah. Well, stevia is another sweetening agent as well. So just a different one.
Stevia is a 0-calorie sweetening agent in most cases. So
sure.
If you want to lean out and sweeten up your stuff and get jacked up with little chemicals, try the stevia, man. I know, man. I'm on something called the Crucifix program. I can't tell you much about it because I haven't launched it yet, but we're going to sell it. And I'm going to give you a crazy sales pitch when it's time to go.
I'm in. I love it already. I'm in.
Okay. Well, hey, listen, where I want to get one, if possible, I would love to get my producers some of these because I could only get one of them some drinks. And I don't want to. I don't want to kill you. I don't want to totally kill you with the shipping again because I know it broke your back last time.
No, you're fine. No, you shoot me the address and we'll take care of you.
And dude, in return, I'm gonna shoot you a sweatshirt.
Deal.
Sweet. But in Mass and in Boston, where are you trying to get the product and where can people buy it?
So right now we're expanding pretty rapidly. You know, we started kind of on the West Coast since that's where our base was. So we have a pretty good presence in in Southern California, Northern California, Texas, Midwest a little bit. So we're in half of the Walmarts in the country, primarily from kind of the Mississippi West. But that will probably change. Hopefully it'll change soon. We'll go national. But right now in that area, Big Y, you can pick it up at Big Y. Some of the other outlets, there's Shaw's we want to get in. There's a lot of them, there's a lot of different outlets. We're not retail outlets. We're not in yet you got to grow, at the right pace. So
Market Basket would be the big pull.
Which one?
Market Basket would be the big pull.
Okay. All right. Anyone listening at Market Basket, holler at us. We're in.
Be sweet. What about Whole Foods?
Whole Foods would be great. Target. I mean, we still have a lot of work to do, obviously. Being a new company, it takes a little time. You can't just go, I want to be in every store. You gotta
you have
grow
to do X amount of volume, right?
You do, right? I mean, you gotta manufacture your cans at the right pace, and you don't want to overextend yourself. You don't want to underextend yourself. So, you just got to move at the right pace, and we have a great sales team as well that are working to get us into a lot of different more retail outlets as well. But you get everyone, Amazon Prime, and we and GetSome.com, and the best deal really once you start drinking it is just to go on.
Hold up. Sorry to cut you off. Yep. Listen, this will parlay into one of our ending bits. We have 2 closing bits. The first one is called GDP Sales Mode. I'm gonna grab my phone. I'm gonna pull out the clock app. I'm going to time you for 40 seconds, and you have 40 seconds to pitch the hell out of this. And listen, Brad, you're a big sales guy, so this better be the best one we've ever had, man. You ready?
Let's go.
And when there's 10 seconds left, I'll put my hand up, but I'm going to give you a hard stop.
Just 40 seconds. I just got to sell this thing. That's it.
Yeah. Do you want to take a deep breath beforehand, or?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, like I said, I oversell this. So tell me when to start.
3, 2, 1, sales mode, go.
So SOM Sleep, very simple. It's a sleep drink in a can, 8 ounces. You drink it 30 minutes. You go to bed at night. Drug-free, non-habit forming, B6, magnesium, GABA, L-theanine, melatonin are the active ingredients. And we are available at getsom.com, Amazon, free shipping, Amazon Prime, and Big Y in the Boston area. And yes, this is a drink for everybody, whether you're 18 years old or 80 years old. So if you have sleep issues or you just want to put yourself on a
that was routine, good though.
Getsom.com.
Brad, thank you. Hey,
appreciate it. Thanks for having me. You guys are great. Continued success. And shoot me those addresses and we'll get your team some product.
Dude, there's one more ending bit before you leave us.
Yeah, let's go.
Come on, man. Hey, I'm glad we met, man. Did you have fun?
Great time.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we met. So listen, this is how we start and end the show. You say, hi, your name, and this is my golden hour. Directly after, no break, hi, your name, and that was my golden hour. So it's this is and that was.
One more time. Say it again.
Whoa. Hi, I'm blank, and this is my golden hour. Directly after, no break, hi, I'm blank, and that was my golden hour.
Yeah. Ready?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Brad Marks, and this is my golden hour. Hi, I'm Brad Marks, and this was my golden hour.
Yo, can I tell you something crazy?
What?
You blew it.
How?
It's that was, Brad. It's this is, and it's that was.
Okay, ready? Hi, I'm Brad Marks, and that was my golden hour.
You're a great guy, man. Perfect. And hey, listen, we're gonna likely drop this next Monday, and I'll catch you up. We'll catch up a bunch of clips, send them over, some links and stuff.
Sweet. All right, we'll get it posted. We'll spread the word.
Hey, thank you for your time, man.
Thanks, Connor. Thanks, production team. Talk to you guys soon.
And I'll text you. I'll get your address, and I'll send you some of ours.
All right, sounds good. Take care.
All right, here we go. Bye.
Present.